Hey everyone, Hayate here from Raven Gaming, and today we're going to be taking a look at my Genesis Regalia deck profile from the brand new Premium Collection set featuring Soul Offering Heavenly Dragon Jagdanaruga and some Regalia pieces like CEO Yggdrasil and Regalia Fate Norn. And yeah, with that out of the way, let's get into the deck profile. For our grade 3 units, we run 4 Cosmic Regalia, CEO Yggdrasil. Skill is all of your rear guards with Divine Gauge get boost, and if this unit is on Vanguard Circle, and it is your opponent's turn, those rear guards cannot be affected by your opponent's cards. And its axe skill, which is Vanden Rear, and once per turn, is Counterblast 1, search your deck for up to 1 Regalia Fate Norn and call it to rear, shuffle your deck. Then choose up to 2 of your rear guards and put up to 1 card from your zone face down as a Divine Gauge for each of them. So you'll run this because you run Norn. And Norn here enables a first stride OTK with the brand new stride Jagdanaruga, which I'll be explaining in the stride part later on this video. With that out of the way, let's get into our next grade tree, which is for Regalia of Blessed Love Frag. So here is Regalia of Blessed Love Frag, and its skill is all of your rear guards with Divine Gauge cannot leave rear by your opponent's card effects and get plus 5000 power. And its axe skill, which is once per turn, which is Counterblast 1, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 card from among them, call it to rear guard circle, and shuffle your deck. If you call the unit with Regalia and its card name, choose up to 2 of your rear guards, and put a card from your soul face down as a Divine Gauge for each of them. Frig here is the main grade 3 we're gonna run. We're going to ride instead of Yggdrasil. Why? Yggdrasil like I've said earlier, Yggdrasil enables the OTK for Jagdanaruga, which is we're still going to talk about in the stride section later on in this video. So, if you're able to go verse grade 3, what you can do is you can call up an Yggdrasil from hand, or if you're lucky, search from the top 5 from Frag and call Yggdrasil to rear, like so. Then put the Divine Gauge on her, like this, and it gains plus 5000 and cannot technically leave rear guard, so it's like a resist. And by using Yggdrasil's continuous skill, which is also applicable on rear, it now gains the ability to boost. But we're going to still, we're going to use her skill to call Norn and put a Divine Gauge on her. But of course, we're not calling it to our column, we're calling it to the Vanguard's column. And of course, we use Force 2 for the extra crit pressure on your opponent. So yeah, that's basically what the deck do. So yeah, up to the grade 2s. Next up for our grade 2s, we run 4 Regalia of Fate Norn. Her skill is act and van on rear, counterblast 1, draw a card and choose one of your rear guards, and you may put a card from your soul face down as a Divine Gauge for that unit. If you put a card, you will soul charge 2. And its auto skill on rear, also once per turn, is at the end of the battle this unit boosted a unit regalia in its card name. Discard a card and one of this unit's Divine Gauge, stand the boosted unit, and that unit gets plus 1000 and drive -1 until end of turn. So you may be thinking, why? This enables the Jagdanaruda OTK. Well, it's not even Regalia name. So because we ride a Regalia unit, let's say you ride a Drossel and then you strike into Jogdonaruga, it also gains the name of the Heart card, which is Cosmic Regalia Seal Drossel, which allows Norn to activate her auto skill when after it battles. You may discard a card, you will discard a card and discard a card from this unit's gauge. You stand Jagged and Aruga and then draw -1, so enabling 2 Vanguard attacks. And the best thing about Norn is it also gets you call. It also helps you filter out your deck since it draws a card and soul charges, which can help you filter out your normal units and have your deck have full of normal units left in deck. And yeah, next up for grade 2s is we run 4 of Regalia of Avol, Lural Jesus. Lural Jesus' skill is when this unit is placed on bank, Counterblast 1, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 card from among them, call it to rear, and shuffle your deck. If you call the unit with Regalia and its card name, choose one of your rear cards and put a card from your soul face down as a divine gauge as that for that unit. And it's auto when placed on rear. You may choose up to 2 cards with Regalia and its card names that is also on rear, and put them into your soul. So this helps you filter out your deck for pieces you may need. So example, you may use the Rule Jesus Counterblast, you look at the top 5 decks. You may call Yggdrasil into a back row, so for the next turn, when you ride into Frigg, and then you stride into the Jagdadaruga, you can use Yggdrasil's skill to call Norn to the back row of your Vanguard. And the rear guard skill may sometimes come up when you are in need of soul, since you use a lot of soul for divine gauges. Next, we run three Regalia of Ideas Geno. Her skill is, when this unit attacks a Vanguard, you may have this unit gain plus 2,000 power until end of that battle. If you do, at the end of that battle, put this unit into your soul. And then her GB1 effect is when this card is put into the drop zone from your soul during your turn, choose one of your units with Regalia in its card name and it gets plus 3,000 to the turn. So she can enable early game offense and offensive skills, like let's say you have little Chisa here, call up to you can look at the top 5 of your deck, you can see a CEO draw, so you may call Geno for a soul charge at the end of her battle. And her GB1 skill is also useful since Jagdanaruga uses the Soul Blast. And when you Soul Blast this, one of your units gain plus 3,000, so it's a good thing to address. So keep that in mind. Next up for our grade 1s, we run 4 Orden Elves. Orden Owl's skill is, when this unit is rolled upon, you may call this card to rear. At the end of the battle that this unit boosted a unit with Regalia and its card name, put this into your soul and draw a card. So this is going to be your main grade 1 ride target, so that when you ride Orden Owl, you will ride onto Lural Jisa, activate her skill first to call a Regalia from the top 5 of your deck. Let's say call Gennel, then you call it to rear to Gennel's call. So you attack, then you attack. So after these two battle, the first one goes to soul, and then this one goes to soul and gets you a card, which helps you out filtering the pieces you need to fulfill Jagdanaruga's win condition. Next up is 4 Battle Maiden Hikaruhimi. You may be thinking, why run Hikaruhimi instead of something, I don't know, like a stride, like a Mythic Beast Call, which searches a great tree. Hikaruhimi is here to help Jagdanaruga. Since Jagdanaruga's skill is a Soul Blast tree, her skill reduces the first Soul Blast by 3. So, if you proc Jagdanaruga's skill, which is Soul Blast 3, and when your opponent's units is put on Guardian Circle other from their deck, you may Soul Blast 3. Your opponent looks at the top card of their deck and calls it to rear and retire the first card that they guarded, which was placed from hand or a G guard or something like that. So technically, she makes the skill of Jagdanaruga free, but you may feel free to run any other grade 1s aside from Hikaruhimi. For me, this works well. It's just my opinion. So yeah. For the next card, we run 3 Regalia of Benevolent Windflap Angel. So it has the standard skill of a G-era Stride Fodder, which is you reveal a grade 3 with Regalia in its card name. And then you search your deck for up to 1 grade 3 with Regalia in its card name, add it to hand, then discard a card from your hand. Then Stride Fodder skill, it gains grade +2 when striding. This also helps when you have Frigg and you don't have Yggdrasil from hand, so you can use her to filter out that one missing Yggdrasil. Then we run Regalia of Amulets, Exfil Angel. Her skill is act once per turn, choose 3 normal units with Regalia in their card names and different card names from this unit from your drop zone and put them on the bottom of your deck in any order. If you have a Vanguard with Regalia on its card name, this unit gets plus 3000 until end of turn. And if you have a card with face-up card with Regalia on its card name in your G zone, draw a card. So Exfil Angel here helps you to recycle back the Regalias you've already used. Like example, you got your CEO Yggdrasil retired, sent to drop, and then any other Regalias, like let's say her and her, or better yet, you can have Norn instead of that royal cheese. You can use Exfil Angel to return them back to your deck. So you can just like do it all over again. So if you have a Yggdrasil on board but you don't have a Norn in deck, but you have like 1 copy of Norn in your drop zone, you can just reset it using Exfil Angel, then call it again to rear. And yeah, that's all for the grade 1s. Moving on to our grade 0s, which is we are aiming for the Star Artemis, standard V starter, draw card, quick shield, and roll upon. But yeah, going on over to the triggers is 4 G3 heals. Well, this is similar to all G3 heals from all other clans. You run this because you don't want to get rushed in the early game. And this helps you a lot with it, since it gives your Vanguard plus 10k, or better yet, if your opponent's Vanguard is crit reliant, so slam it down, -2 crits, let's say if that's an Overlord. But yeah, that's all for it. So for this deck, we don't run DPGs, instead we run 11 crits. So you run the Crit Sentinel, State Federativity, the 30k shield. Mushisu, the reprint version of it, the Stride Fodder, Crit Stride Fodder. Then you run Tablet Angel, the put to soul, draw 1 card plus 10k to the Vanguard. So that makes up 3, 7, 11 crits in the deck. And the final trigger, of course, you're on the over trigger. Because, why not? But really, you really need to ban this. It's not healthy for the game. I'm telling you that. But yeah, that's it for the main deck. Now let's move over to the stride deck, or the cheese one rather. So you run 2 of Jogdanaruga. Jogdanaruga's skill is, when this unit attacks, turn a card from your G-Zone face up, choose any number of cards with different grades from your drop, put them to your soul, and this unit gets plus 10,000 till end of turn. This is actually just giving it like extra magazines for its skill, which is the second skill here we're going to focus on is when your opponent's unit is put on Guardian other than from their deck, Soul Blast 3 retard that unit your opponent looks at the top card of their deck and calls it weird. So basically, it's like a DP's Guard Breaker, but for Genesis. Also, you can just utilize the Norn and Yggdrasil to restand it again, then swing at it again with doing the guard break again. Next, we run 2 Complete Beauty Amaru the Afros. Amaru the Afros' skill is the Revelation, which, if you don't know what Revelation is, it's basically looking the top card of your deck. You may put it into your soul or put it on the top, and then you rest a rear card. It's a keyword from back in G era, but her skill is act once per turn, counterblast 1, and turn a card from your G-Zone face up. Until end of turn, one of your rear guards get plus 10,000 and 1 critical, and if your soul has 4 or less cards, draw 2 cards and soul charge 5. Then her auto skill is, at the end of the battle it attacked, Soul Blast 15, stand one of your rear guards, and until end of your turn, your opponent cannot call sentinels from hand. Again, if you can't meet Jagdanaruga, it's OTK's turn. Amaru the Afros is the next best thing you can have, since it gives crit pressure to a rear guard. Also, if you meet the Soul Blast 15 cost, you can have like 1, 2, 3, 4 attacks with high powers. Next, Ultimate Regalia of Crimson Muspel. Her purpose in the deck is a counter charge or a draw. So here's the skill. Choose a face down card from your G-Zone and turn it face up. Soul Blast any number of cards. Choose one of your rear guards, and for each card Soul Blasted, they get plus 4,000 till end of turn. If you Soul Blast 3 or more cards, draw a card or counter charge 1. Muspel can be swapped for Minerva, in case if you like your Norn or Yggdrasil gets retired, you still get a range stand from your Vanguard. Next, we run Mythic Destroyer Beast, Van Argonder. So if you can't finish your opponent on Jagdanaruga's turn, you stride into Van Argonder. Why? Its skill is when it attacks a Vanguard, Soul Blast 6 and choose a card face down with the same card name as this unit from your G-Zone, turn it face up until end of turn. This unit gets auto Vanguard at the beginning of your drive step. Look at 4 cards from the top of your deck, search up to 4 cards from among them, and then put them on the top of your deck in any order, and put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. So it's basically like Oracle Think Tank like card, but doesn't use CB. So let's say you can have, let me get my deck for a bit. Your Venergander attacks, you Soul Blast 6, you flip one face up, you look at the top 4 like this. You may rearrange it in any order, so you can put this here, put this here, and then you may put this here on the bottom of the deck. Then drive check, trigger, trigger, trigger. Then if you have Norn and CEO Yggdrasil, you perform the skill again since you don't need to Soul Blast. And the skill says it gets it until the end of turn. So you can use the red text skill again for paying no cost. So you do the rearrange top bottom thing. But yeah, that's all for our strides. Moving on to our G cards, which is Witch Queen of Accomplishment, Laurier. Her skill is Generation Break 1. Choose a face down G Guardian from your G Zone, turn to face up. When this unit is placed on Guardian Circle, you may pay the cost if you do. Choose 2 or more up to a total of 3 normal units with the same grade from your drop or soul. Return them to your deck, and this unit gets plus 5,000 until end of turn for each card returned, and shuffle your deck. So it recycles cards from your drop again, so you can recycle your Regalia stuffs like Norn, Yggdrasil, or any of the sort. You only need one of this. Then you run Sky Enforcing Light Dragon, Anafarta, the new G card. Its skill is when this unit is placed on Guardian Circle, put a card from your hand or rear guards into your soul, and this unit gets plus 10,000 to end of turn. Then put a total of 2 cards from your hand and rear guards into your soul. Choose one of your opponent's units, gets minus 2 crits until end of turn. So, let's say you're facing, I don't know, like Overlord or something that has like can have multiple crits. You can just use an Anavarta, put a card from your hand, put a card from your hand again, and a card from your rear. Gets minus 2 crits till end of turn, not end of battle. So it's gonna be permanent. Next we run Goddess of 7 colors Iris. Her skill is when placed on Guardian Circle, choose up to 3 cards from your drop zone and put them into your soul. If 3 cards were put, this unit gets plus 5,000 shield at the end of battle. If you run Dreaming Dragon, your target with Iris is putting normal units back inside your soul. And having almost like all trigger units on your drop zone. So when you activate Dreaming Dragon's effect, you put it back to your deck and put essentially like 5 or 6 or even more than that triggers back into your deck. So you basically refreshed your heals, your crits, or any triggers of that sort. And then for our last G card, which will be 2 Ultimate Regalia of Affection Air. First skill is when this unit is placed on Guardian Circle, choose up to 4 cards from your drop zone with different grades and put them into your soul. If you put 2 or more cards until end of that battle, this unit gets plus 5,000 shield. Then if you put 4 cards, it gets plus 10k. So basically a 25k G card if you have like grades of 0, 1, 2, and 3. That'll be all for today's deck profile. And yeah, if you have any other suggestion for content, leave them on our comment section down below. And if you like this video, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. But until then guys, Hayate out.